We have a big update on the Georgia Court of Appeal. So they agreed to hear the appeal of the refusal to disqualify the DA in Georgia. That's Fani Willis from the Georgia election subversion case. You remember they had that big legal back and forth. The judge refused to get her off the case, and there was a challenge to that. And the big update is that they have now set oral arguments for that challenge, which is good news because, of course, the case can't proceed until this whole thing is done. So the oral argument date has been set for October 4th. I am not impressed. You see what they're doing here? They're doing it, they're moving forward. And hey, you have the oral arguments on this appeal on October 4th and maybe a decision at some point during October, and then no time before the election for us to actually adjudicate whether he tried to steal the Georgia, like the electoral college votes of Georgia. We just won't know. At least we won't know before the election. And it is hard to see this as anything other than an intentional strategy because it fits in so well with the other legal proceedings still forthcoming for Donald Trump. Now, we know he was found guilty of 34 felonies in New York. We got that. And I hope that you enjoyed that because it's unlikely that we're gonna have much resolution on the other cases. So Georgia, probably not gonna happen until the election. Judge Eileen Cannon, as you already know, has indefinitely postponed Trump's classified documents case. He definitely stole the documents. Seems like a slam dunk case, but there's just not gonna be there's not gonna be time before the election to actually adjudicate it. And by the way, they received so many complaints through the automated system of Eileen Cannon that they shut down the system that accepted them. But anyway, you have that. And then of course you have the January 6th case, perhaps the most important one of all. And we're still waiting to hear what SCOTUS is gonna say about the absolute immunity. Maybe they'll rule this month, maybe next month. And then probably there won't be time before the election to actually do the case. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. And so when they say that these judges are conflicted, when they say that there's a two-tier justice system, just bear in mind, yeah, they got him on the Stormy Daniels one, the least significant one in a lot of people's minds. But now 3 of the other cases stopped dead in their tracks, thanks to some people who were literally put on the bench by Donald Trump and others that are Republicans, just needing a little bit more time to work through all these things. Waz, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like many people who would like to not see Donald Trump win re-election in November, was hoping that some of the bigger, more major trials, specifically the one in Georgia, could have been adjudicated. Because again, like he committed these crimes in 2020, right? Like this was 4 years ago, right? There was a hope, especially when the charges got brought, that we could get a trial, get a verdict, get a sentencing in before November in 2024. And I think GA, man, is the most disheartening of all of them because it feels like such a self-own on the Fani Willis part. This whole imbroglio with her lover and hiring this dude, and maybe possibly could have hired a myriad of other qualified people to prosecute the ex-president of the freaking country. I mean, like it seemed like such a needless self-mistake, right? And so yeah, ever since it's been shown that the Trump's legal team has been, effective in basically delaying all of this stuff until either he A, gets reelected, or 2, just loses the election. Who cares? Whatever. I'll fight these people in court and I'll be able to situate it then. Like I've been disappointed ever since.
Yeah, look, I'm frustrated by the judges, but I'm also not gonna like pretend that there aren't mitigating factors. Not mitigating, that's not really the right word, but there's extra context. Yes. On almost none of these did they need to wait anywhere near as long as they did to start moving forward because we knew they were gonna delay. And by they, I mean both like that would be the Trump legal strategy. They're definitely gonna try to delay and probably be successful because they have billions of dollars, and that the judges are gonna throw up roadblocks. So you have to get it started as early as possible. And they didn't, unfortunately. And in this case, like if you are literally prosecuting the president of the United States,
insane.
Be a good boy or girl, whoever you are, Fani Willis did the dating or whatever, but like what if like, I don't know, Bragg had been Like they found out that he had, like a Pinterest where he was like liking like art of Donald Trump being like spanked by Stormy Daniels. Like you can't do any bad things because it's too hard already. But anyway, very frustrating. And I know that the right is obvious. They love this. They'll never admit that this is going on because that would imply that there is actually balance, I suppose, or benefit to being Donald Trump. But it sucks for the independents, particularly. For some conservatives too, they deserve to know whether he did these things. They don't believe that he did, but they deserve to see the evidence. And now they're probably not going to, at least until after the election. And in some of these cases, never. Because if he wins, and there's a very good chance that will happen. I hate to like agree with Bill Maher or whatever, but it does seem likely that he'll win. He'll just make them disappear. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.